So this video is called The Philosophy of a Winner. And we're starting with this for one very specific reason, is how you do one thing is how you do everything. Now, the definition of philosophy is a theory or attitude that acts as a guiding principle for your behaviors in life. So essentially what we're trying to do here is to build a value system that is congruent with the person that we want to become. Now, for a lot of us, we're moving from self-employment, maybe a brick and mortar business, or maybe you have a 9-to-5 job and now you want to become an entrepreneur. Well, to become an entrepreneur, essentially, you are voluntarily accepting all the responsibilities for your life. This is what do you do day to day? Like, what's the first thing you do when you wake up? The last thing you do when you go to bed? How are you spending your spare time? Who are you hanging out with? What are you reading? Everything becomes your decision. And when we're trying to build a new sort of identity for ourselves, this is going to come down to our value system. So what we value becomes our identity. And you can, look at any one of your friends and family. A lot of people identify with their job. There are a lot of people that say, I'm a carpenter, or I'm a secretary, or I'm whatever it is, even stay-at-home mom, right? What you value becomes your identity. So now we want to become an entrepreneur. We want to blaze our own trail. We want to do things on a very high level so we can get paid a lot more for our worth and our skill set. So this means we need to adopt the mentality of a winner. We need to think like a winner. We need to act like a winner, and we need to adopt a winning mentality, which means we are always looking at the positive. We always want to see the brighter side in life, because this is, we're all human beings. We know there is a heavy negative, toxic energy that a lot of people carry around because they just don't have a lot to look forward to. So when you start your business, it's very, very important that you make sure that every single thing you do is going to move you a little bit towards your goal. Now, there's a book called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, which we highly recommend as your very first book. Now, there are a lot of books that could be recommended as your first, but the reason we recommend this one is because essentially you are moving a little bit towards or a little bit away from your goals with every single decision you make. So hitting that snooze button, well, you're saying, hey, I really don't want my success. Getting up early, proving to yourself that you want this success. Picking up the book, that means you want the success. Sitting on the couch and watching Netflix means you don't want the success. Staying in and writing your ads at night or on the weekend and building your business means you want success. Justifying going out and crushing 20 beers and eating a terrible diet means you don't want success. So this is really how this game is won. It's not by how many sales you make and the ranks you hit and all that sort of stuff. That's a byproduct of the work that you do, the decisions that you make. And so it's super important that we are reinforcing these positive habits. So we're always you got to be on top of our game when it comes to our health, our wellness, our relationships, our finances. There's a lot of different areas that we need to be focused on. We need to have the awareness. But at the end of the day, if you're just take that one tiny fraction of a second and listen to hear, okay, listen to your gut. Go inside, when they say trust your gut. There are a lot of people, me included, that have gone against your gut at some point in time, and you paid the price. So your internal, it's like you have a thermometer inside where come on, when you're doing the right thing and when you're doing the wrong thing. And here's a good sort of tip. If you need to find a way to justify you doing something, then that's probably something you shouldn't be doing. And I know, so I can't have fun and I can't do this. It's like, yeah, I know it kind of sounds like, the no fun crew. But the thing is when you adopt a different value system, when you put a higher value on working on your business than going out on the weekend and doing probably the same thing you've done for the last 5, 10, 15, 20 years, then that's going to reinforce this positive belief that you should get the success down the road. The reason why most people do or do not actually take action is because they don't believe that they deserve it. There's a I got to remember this quote. It says, most people are afraid to achieve their ideals in life because of the standard they will have to live up to. Now, perfect example is myself. When I first was getting into this business, I heard about this when I was like 23, 24 years old. Called a pyramid scheme, a scam, too good to be true, all that sort of stuff. But like, I knew it was a good business. It's been around longer than I have. I knew you could make money on it because my buddies were killing it. Like it wasn't that. It was, I didn't believe that I would do as good as I thought I should do. That was it. I had nothing to base it on. And then I ended up making $10,390 in my very first 6 weeks. It's actually closer to 12,000 in my very first 6 weeks, because when I left my old career, I went 4 months in the oil field. Do not recommend it. They'll tax you 40%. They'll work you to the bone. Just not for me. But at the time, that was where I thought I had to go in order to make $100,000 a year, which now in 2023, that's not even enough. But the point is when I ended up getting laid off 3 different times in 4 months, I got to the point where it was either I go one direction and go back the way that I just came, or I completely reinvent myself and start creating a new identity for who I wanted to become. That means I had to change my value system. So instead of putting a value on work, I put a value on training and education and coaching. Instead of putting such a high value on money, I put a higher value on income, because it's the income that drives your business. And the end goal isn't money, it's what money can buy, right? Like, we're not Scrooge McDuck swimming through, piles of coins or whatever, right? That's not the end goal, is to be sitting on a stack of money. There's a lot of millionaires and billionaires that are completely devastated. They're not happy at all. So the end goal is the impact, is what the money is going to bring to your life. So all of these things started to fall into place. And it wasn't like I was learning. It was almost like I was remembering, because at our core, our goal is to become successful, is to protect our family, is to give more back to our community than what we have. This is just like intrinsic in our human nature for most of us, entrepreneurs anyways. And if you're here, you're probably like that. But the big point is creating this value system and then building a new identity that will propel you forward to do the things that you need to do. Because a lot of the stuff that you're going to be doing might be a little bit foreign, right? You might have to change your schedule a little bit. You might have to, you will have to sacrifice some things. You're going to lose friends. You just are. And like, that's not necessarily a bad thing, because the friends that you're going to lose, if you do lose them, they weren't really your true friends anyways. They were friends at the moment, at that stage in your life. And when you upgrade, when you start doing things on a different level, when you take full personal responsibility for everything you do, it's not the product, it's not the system, it's not the brand, it's not the team. It's going to come down to you. And are you doing the things that are moving you forward towards your goals or not? And once you lock in a new identity, a new value system, you're going to get new friends that support you, friends that are on the exact same journey as you, whether they're in this business or any other business. You are going to attract better, higher quality friends. And this entire process starts with you deciding what you want and the standard that you're going to hold for yourself. Okay. Marcus Aurelius says, you keep a high standard for yourself and don't worry about anybody else, right? We're focused on our own scoreboard. What are you doing every day? Perfect example. I went out riding with my friends yesterday, big group of friends. Everyone's out having a great time. We went to a couple bars, like 2 pubs for food. They're all drinking beers. I had my water. I ordered food. That was it. And the reason is I have different goals in my life. I have fitness goals. I having to do these videos today. I wanted to be fresh for you. So just adopting the philosophy and then reinforcing that with positive beliefs, right? Your belief in yourself will be the most important thing in all of this process. And your belief is going to come from your actions. Your actions are going to come from your value system. Your value system is going to come from what you decide is important in your life. So do yourself a favor, write down all the things that you want to achieve in your life. Write down the skill sets that you're going to need to learn in order to hit those goals. And then write down the values that you need in order to learn the skills to hit the goals. And this is a very personal exercise. Your friends, your family, your spouse, your best friend, they might not see what you see. They may not have the goals that you have. But you sometimes have to be on a lonely trail. And when you become a creator, when you become an artist, when you become an entrepreneur, there are going to be some highs and lows. And for a lot of the time, you're going to be by yourself. Of course, we have a team and we have our chats and we have our community and all that sort of stuff. But when you're sitting in your office and you're like, oh, man, I'm just frustrated. I can't get this ad to work. Do you get up and walk away and don't come back? Or do you maybe just take a little bit of a break and then come back in 15 minutes? Set your timer and come back in 15 minutes. You don't leave until the job is done. So I have a few values for myself that never change. Number one is I always do my morning routine. It is something that has become a staple in my life. My stretching, my meditation, my visualization, and my gratitude. It has to happen. Doesn't matter where I am. Doesn't matter if I'm on vacation. Doesn't matter if, doesn't matter. It has to get done because it's how I identify with the person I am today. I also read every single day, no matter what. I never take a zero in my business. I've been in business for the past 8 years, and I've never taken a zero in sales. I just don't let it happen. You know what I mean? Like there's a few things in life that you don't let happen. That is one of the things. And because I put a high value on these things, the standard of my life and my business has gotten to the point where I've built a team of over 6,000 people in a dozen countries on 5 continents all around the world. And if you knew me back 8.5 years ago or 9 years ago, I was not the guy I am today. But it was a lot of personal development, a lot of self-reflection, a lot of just deciding. Just decide, what do you want and what price are you willing to pay? And then reverse engineer your goals and then set some standards for yourself on the things that you will accept and you will not accept from your life. Also, what you'll accept and not accept from other people in your life, which is just as important, because you could be all happy and all rah and good to go. And then your spouse tells you that they think your business is a joke or it's never going to work or whatever the case is. And for a lot of us, it's tough. I had my dad write me a letter, like literally write me a letter telling me how people were going to come to my house and ask for their money back because there are other machines out there and da-da-da-da-da. Like, I'm 37 years old. My dad's turning 70 this year and still works part-time, although that'd be on a golf course. But the point is 8 years later, I'm making doctor money from my house and my dad is still working. Now, if I would have listened to my dad or listened to my friends or family members that told me this was a scam or a pyramid scheme, then I would probably be struggling right now. And I definitely wouldn't be here talking to you. So your value system, the philosophy you bring into your business will dictate your success in the long run, because your philosophy is how you act and what you focus on. So I've always said there are like 3 stages of personal development, or 3 stages of going from a 9-to-5er into an entrepreneur. The first is going to be your traditional personal development, your Think and Grow Rich, your Slight Edge, how to win friends and influence people, right? The standard personal development books or self-help books that most of us know and love. If you don't know what I'm talking about yet, you will soon. The next step, most of the time, is we go into psychology. Once we learn all the personal development and why people do things and don't do things, we want to know, how does the human mind work, right? And then, so if you get into the psychology, you start learning about, how our minds develop and how our psyches develop, and why is everyone around the world have this universal language of a smile, and some people, do this in their culture, and some people do this, and like, you just get curious because you're a human being. You usually want to know why or how other human beings make their decisions. But then you have all this information. So what do you do with it? Well, you distill it down to an ethos, to a philosophy. So over the last couple of years, I got into Marcus Aurelius and Aristotle and Plato and Seneca and Epictetus and all the different philosophers to try to learn how to become a good person. What is a good person? How do I take all of this information and distill it down into one thing? and I'm getting better and better every single day. So don't take this lightly. Your philosophy, what you set in stone, is going to dictate your actions. And this is super, super important if you want to create a new identity for who you are. Remember, it's going to come down to what you value. And a lot of what you're going to value may not be what the closest people around you value. But if you want to earn a lot of money and travel the world and create freedom, which as a byproduct will most likely help these people that don't see what we see already. And that's okay. That's okay. I remember Blaj telling me way back in 2015 when we started, he said, we are the OGs. We are the people that are going to start this from the ground up. And eventually everyone is going to come to us. And then we had a pandemic and everybody wants to get healthy and everybody wants to save on taxes and everybody wants to make more money and everybody wants to figure out how to live a better life. And because we've had a philosophy of being a winner, of never putting up a zero, of always trying to give back more than we've received, we have built an amazing team. So if you found any value in this, please drop a comment down below. But simply write out the things that you want in life, write out your goals, write out your value systems, write out the actions you need to take, write out the skill sets, figure out what matters to you, and then get a mentor or someone that you can replicate. This is super, super, super powerful. I use Marcus Aurelius. I read every single day one chapter of Meditations, and I've never been better. I'm always on top of my game. It's the same thing over and over and over again, but it's the things that I need to remember. It's the things that I need to work on every single day. And as I'm moving throughout my business, I'm leveling up in life. And what else can you ask for, right? This is a journey forever. If you're in this business of Enagic, or when you get into this business of Enagic, myself, this entire team, we're in this together and we're in this for life. So I hope you enjoyed this. Leave me a comment down below if you got some value, and we'll see you on the next video.